Hey guys, as men, we are the embodiment of several different archetypes of sacred masculinity. Now, each one of them has their own positive and negative traits, and if we look to the life that we lead, the behaviors we act upon, the company we keep, the status of our worldly goods, we can actually see how all of these different archetypes play out in our lives. Now, in my classes, I teach the traits of 12 different sacred masculine archetypes. And these are maybe the 12 most common archetypes that we see within our people in the 21st century that we body and express. And central among them is the king. He is the part of your being that can see the big picture and the connection with your higher self. And we're going to talk about how you can access the greatest strengths of the king in this video. But first, I'm Kadric Olson, author of Runes for Transformation, founder of Galdracraft, and I've been studying Norse lore for over 30 years to cull the best practices out of it that you can use in the 21st century to make your life your own and in a sacred way. And I have also been learning how to apply these traits, these techniques, to what our experience is as men today, overcoming our challenges and leading the best possible life that we can. And in doing that, we need to connect with a part of us known as the king. Now, he's the part of you that can see the big picture. He's got the overall plan of what your life is, and he is the connection to your higher being. In the Norse, we see this with phrases like sjálfr sjálfr the self to the self. He is also the central source of power as he understands all of the various roles that these sacred archetypes play in your life. And unfortunately, as we meander through our day-to-day existence, we've lost our connection with purpose. We're unaware of why we're here, leaving us with absolutely zero sense of direction. And this is because we either don't realize we have a connection to the king, or two, we've lost connection to it. Either way, you are not in communication with your kingly archetype, the central source of your true power. But what's even worse is when we take away power from this king, we leave all of our daily needs with our lower selves. Or we're kicking our ass to try to keep up with the expectations that others put on us. Either way, we're not living an authentic life. But you have to realize that your strongest, most sacred power is neutered when you do that. It's keeping you from achieving what you were brought in this world to do. The king, he knows how to use the greatest gifts of all of your archetypes. He knows why you're here in this world, and he has a great view of the bigger picture of what your life is supposed to be like. But all you have to do, it's really easy, all you have to do is learn how to listen. And I'm going to teach you how to do that with a very simple introspective technique that I call the King's Counsel. Now, to do this, we're going to start with various archetypes, remembering that each one of them has their own personality, their own positive, negative traits. And as you explore these different archetypes that you have within you, you can even give them a name. Now, some of the archetypes that we're going to talk about include like the warrior, the lover, the magician, craftsman, destroyer, healer, sage. Each one of these archetypes holds a special place in your life. Each one of them rules over certain attributes, like the warrior. You know, they want to protect you, they want to keep things safe. They actually even have that conquering ability to go out and get the things done. The lover gives you a sense of beauty in the world, the joy that you get from even the simplest of things to experience. Now, all you have to do to start making these connections is just try to see how these archetypes show up in your life and get a good idea of what they do for you, and then just spend a quiet moment by yourself to talk with the archetype. Yeah, you're going to learn how to talk to yourself. You're going to learn to listen to the voices within. Now, For example, we're going to look at the warrior, right? Protecting, conquering the challenges that you face in life. When you're doing this introspective practice, just imagine that you're talking to the warrior within. Ask him how he protects you, who he thinks your greatest enemies in life are, and maybe what his idea of the best way to conquer particularly challenging situations. Just spend a moment and have an inner dialogue with yourself, with your inner warrior, about all of these strengths that he has. Then, do something contrary to that. Call upon your inner lover, that part of you that is emotional, that can see the beauty in everything in the world, and ask him how he feels about the actions and beliefs of the warrior. Ask him what he thinks about the potential consequences of what the warrior wants to do. And maybe even ask him how he wants to achieve the same types of goals, but what his own unique perspective is on that, and what his own unique way is of dealing with those challenges. Now, do this in a discussion with various different archetypes, right? Go through like the sage, go through the craftsman, go through the various ones. And you'll notice that you're going to get various different answers on the same subject, and sometimes the answers are going to be contrary. They won't agree 100% of the time, and that's perfectly okay. But at this point, you want to do two things. First, remember that there are no wrong answers, even if they seem to be moving in different directions. This is an example of your own complexity, and maybe even an idea that you have some internal conflicts that can be preventing you from taking the best actions for yourself. Perfectly normal, perfectly acceptable, and something that you want to expect when doing this work. The second, remember that you have the power and wisdom to reconcile all of these various approaches, and you can make the best decision on how to best act upon this situation. This comes from you, at the center of your being, taking a central position to weigh all of the various inner opinions from all of your inner archetypes. You evaluate them against the bigger picture of your life, and you plot out the course of the actions to come, and ultimately you make the decision of what to do from this central source of power within. This is you taking the position of king. From this position, you can connect with what you understand and what you evaluate of your various inner beliefs, your values, and the expectations that you hold within your true core beliefs. And as you evaluate them from this central point, you can separate from each of the archetypes. You are not part of those archetypes. You are separate from them. And you can make the best decision that your own understanding and awareness is capable of in that moment. This is not a round table where every archetype has an equal say and equal power in the decision-making process. No. They serve as advisors to the king, and you, from your throne of power, you make the decision. Now remember, just because you make a decision does not mean that it is not faulty. It means that you claimed your power to decide and act upon it. If mistakes are made, mistakes are made. Evaluate the mistakes, make a new decision, and act upon that. Ultimately, it is in you, from the central position, connected with your own sacredness, that can make the best decisions for the right course of action. And you're not giving too much power to any single archetype, and you're not disempowering them, and you are not giving your power away to external sources that have their own expectations for their own benefits. This is you on your road to becoming who you need to be in this world, connected with your sacredness, and living out the reason why you exist in this world. And that's what the King's Council is all about. Something that you could do, something you could start right now. Now, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to this, and if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. They will thank you for it. And remember, they need it just as much as maybe you did. And if you have any questions, concerns, please leave me some comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you, and hail.